Good evening, folks. This is our second short take of the day. And we're talking about the fact that this past Friday was International Transgender Day of Visibility, but as far as we're concerned, every damn day is International Transgender Day of Visibility. So we are not, and we did not ignore this topic. We are going to do a big show next week on this, but we're going to take a few minutes to talk a little bit today about why we're tired of the crap that surrounds this whole issue, which actually is nobody's business.
So in 2018, Deb and I met, and we pretty much, as activists, hit it off pretty quickly. Here's a little bit about me, and Deb can say a little bit about her. My name's Dave. I have been a facilitator, a teacher, a union rep for many, many years. I also was born with manic depression, or what's called with bipolar 2. So even though I am absolutely fully aware that transgenderism isn't a mental illness, I am fully aware that transgenders can be depressed based on their situation. I remember as a child, I was, I had my situations and I was bullied and all of that. But when I became an adult, the only real type of discrimination that I found was when I went to the Postal Service, and we had people who were not taken care of, by the way, veterans who entered the Postal Service, and then they were violent, some of them. And was the situation taken care of right away? No, they were actually made fun of. These people were villainized, and it was popularized that term, go postal. So I was actually afraid to come forward as a bipolar for a very long time, because I figured that I was going to be stigmatized. But I have never seen anything like this. Never. Even back years ago when you had Republicans blaming people with mental illness for gun violence, I have never seen the level of attacks on one group of people like there is on the transgender community right now. And I want to tell you that even though I am different, and I know that, I have empathy for every single one of you. I want to help as best as I can. I see people reaching out on TikTok. Deb and I are planning on reaching out to some of the content creators on TikTok and creating some kind of informational community where we share each other's information. The Human Rights Campaign, Deb actually volunteered for the Human Rights Campaign years ago, and she introduced me to it, and it's a fantastic resource. Not only do we have this up here, and I didn't even realize how many young adults there were. 1.6 million transgender youth from ages 13 and up. They cannot be ignored. You cannot be ignored. You are important. And a day is great, but you know what? You guys deserve a life, and you guys deserve a lifetime, and you guys deserve help when you need it. So, Deb, if Deb wants to close out.
Yeah, so I'm gay. I've been gay, as my friends would tell you, since the womb. I have a 22-year-old who is transgender, and came to me and told me at the age of 16. And I am fully supportive. She has been in transition now since the age of about 17. And we are now moving towards discussion of surgery. So now 22, is fully aware of all the bullshit that goes on social media with this, is fully aware of what the GOP is doing, is fully aware of all the hate out there. and is one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. And I've got to tell you, this stuff, to tell 1.6 million plus people that they don't have a right to exist, you got a lot of nerve to do that shit. That's the stuff of Nazi Germany. And that's not going to be tolerated here. Not by me anyway. And not by us as a group. And there's no place for that in this country. Absolutely no room for that here. So we are going to be trying to do our best to get something together to provide some kind of support to push this along. But the most important thing that we have to do is, guess what's coming? 2024. We need to vote out these people. We need to vote out these people so protections can be put in place to help these people out. We need to vote out the GOP. This is no lie, okay? If you are an old-fashioned Republican, an old-school Republican, there is nobody for you in this Republican Party. None. You need to throw away the R next to your name and vote Democrat until these people can get their shit together. Because right now, the current GOP is loaded with fascists, bigots, racists, white supremacists, anti-Semites, and none of these people have any place in government. There's no home for them here. All right. Maybe there is in Russia. They should go there. But there's no home for them in here. We need to vote out as many as we can. And if you want your, by the way, let me talk just for a minute to the women. Y'all want your row codified? 60 Senate seats. That's the only thing that gets it here. Keep that in mind. Keep that number in mind. 52 is not going to do it. 52% of Democratic voters showing up at the polls is not going to solve any problems. We need to be out there in 2024. We need to eliminate as many people from office that have the Republican moniker next to their name. They need to go. And
so I do want to say a couple more things. We have resources for people. Listen, it's one thing to complain about politicians on Twitter. It's another thing to not only help yourself, but to help other people create change. You have the Human Rights Foundation. You also have the National Center for Transgender Equality, which we have that up here. And again, we are fully aware transgenderism is not a mental illness. It has been declassified on the DSM, but people could be depressed. And especially with all this nonsense and the bullying and all of that, when you're trying to figure things out and you're a teenager, there is another advocacy center and group. It's really good. NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which, again, we're not talking about depression is a mental illness also, okay? And there are transgenders who suffer from depression. All right. So I want you to understand that that's where we're coming from on that.
I want you to understand something else where we're coming from on that. Whether you're transgender, whether you're gay, whether you're a woman, whether you are handicapped, whether you are handicapped physically or mentally, we are all in the same boat here. The people in power right now are not friends to any of us. We are stronger together than we are separated. And I'm speaking specifically to my LGBT brethren here. You know, don't let the right wingers, separate you from the transgender community, because that's what they're doing. They're playing up to you. They're trying to create division. And you know what? They don't give a rat's ass about you. If you don't think that they're going to come after your rights next, you're dreaming. You are dreaming, okay? You better wake up. That's all I'm going to say. We're done.